The excitement in the booth.
Second baseman fighting by his feet. Jack him up, jack him
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Nysportsxtra podcast. My name's Nick. We're back with Ambro and Joe. Today we have a very special guest on the podcast now. We have Frank the Tank Fleming, Mr. Frankie Midnight himself. Frank, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good. That's depressing the hell out of me, but other than that...
Trust me, we'll get into that. We'll get into that. So why don't you give the people listening a little bit of background information about yourself if they don't know who you are?
Well, I've been someone that's been going to games for years. I've been running a website called Sports Encyclopedia for years, and suddenly one day it all blew up and became famous thanks to my rant against the New Jersey Transit. I was on my way to opening day in 2017, and we had a lot of issues with the trains. I was on a train that was on its way to Penn Station and stopped in the tunnel for 45 minutes, only to go back to Secaucus. Go back to Secaucus where nobody knew what the hell was going on. They were announcing the wrong trains to go on, and oh by the way, all the while I was on the train to Penn Station, I was near the bathroom, and every announcement was accompanied by a loud, audible buzzing sound. So I saw a cameraman, and I just let it rip. New Jersey Transit's the absolute worst. They're incompetent, which they totally are. And the rest is history. I missed my opening day ceremonies, and everyone, and I just blew up after that. Barstool brought me on board. I'm a part-time blogger there. I do different things with them, and it's been crazy ever since.
Yeah, Frank, I'm with you. I remember watching your Fox interview when you were with Kevin Burkhardt and A-Rod. I remember you said that the ceremony is the point of opening day, and that's absolutely correct.
Yeah, it is.
It really is.
I mean, why? You're not going out there to freeze your ass off on a day in April where chances are the temperatures could be in the 40s, and just to watch a baseball game. You're going. That's why most baseball games there's like 10,000 people in the stands, and then opening day is a sellout because people want to see the ceremonies. They want to cheer the players they like. They want to boo the players they don't like. They want to boo the training staff, which, even though Raven Mears is gone, seems to be like the day hired his assistant.
Nothing changes. Nothing changes, Frank.
I'm not convinced there's something fundamentally wrong with the New York Mets from every aspect of the damn game. I mean, we're talking a scouting staff that doesn't know how to draft. We draft a bunch of bums. We overhype players like Ahmed Rosario. Say he's the next Francisco Lindor. What is he? What are they talking about? Oh, he needs time to develop. Bull crap, because you know what? They keep saying he needs time to develop. He's the same damn age as Gleyber Torres, and Gleyber Torres came up, boom, ready to go.
Yep.
The guy in Atlanta, Albies, boom, ready to go. Oh, he needs time to develop. What the hell was going on in the minors? So that's the second point. What the hell is going on in the minors? How come we can't develop players? I mean, it's like players come up with the Mets and they're terrible. They suck. And then we have. Let's take an example of a player named Justin Turner. Now with the Mets, he was nothing more than a back of the bench utility man player who will come up every now and then and get a hit. Wasn't a horrible hitter, but he was just a guy you'd look at and you said, "Oh, this guy's not that good." And when they didn't sign him, you didn't even think twice. You didn't blink. And now he's a star in the Dodgers. Why? How does this happen? How do these players leave the Mets and develop? What are the Mets doing wrong? Why is the minor league system so bad at developing players? Why do players like Dom Smith come up, and it's like you want to hear that song? Hey, 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 it's Dominic Smith. I mean, the guy has a hole in his swing, and he can't field, and he's gaining weight every time. He doesn't look like he is even interested in working out or interested in swinging hard, and he's terrible. He is absolutely terrible. I mean, you get once in a while you get a player that might be good, like Brandon Nimmo, but he's good. He's maybe at the best he's going to be Brett Gardner. I mean, and then you see draft decisions. Gavin Cecchini in the first round. Gavin Cecchini is so bad they won't even call him up. He's been in the minors so long. He was drafted ahead of Corey Seager. And Dom Smith, the aforementioned Dom Smith, was drafted ahead of Aaron Judge. What are the Mets thinking? Why does this happen? And then they continue to build around pitching. And I'm now convinced you don't build around pitching. Yeah. Big mistake. Don't build around pitching. The Cubs didn't build around pitching. The Braves aren't building around pitching. The Yankees didn't build around pitching. It's a big mistake. Pitching has changed. Pitching doesn't win in baseball anymore. It doesn't. You might have won baseball 30, 40 years ago, but you baby these pitchers. These starting pitchers can't go more than 6 innings. What's the point in having a good starter if you can't go more than 6 innings? It's time. The Mets got to build it on offense, and frankly, I just don't trust Sandy Alderson another chance to build players because he doesn't know. He wouldn't know a good player if it fell in his friggin' lap. I mean, Jesus, Marion Joseph. I mean, if this is the type of guy that probably thinks the Mets made the wise choice picking Steve Shilcott over Reggie Jackson. I mean, this is the type of guy that if you're starting a baseball draft today and you can pick any player you want, and that includes Mike Trout and Bryce Harper, would still choose Dom Smith.
I wouldn't doubt it. I got to be honest with you, I would not doubt it. Going off what you said with building around pitching, and if you really look at the teams that have won World Series that have made deep playoff runs in the last few years, besides the Mets, they're all really built around pitching. Around hitting, young, position players. The Astros and the Royals, they went on, they got their pitchers. They got their Verlanders and their Johnny Cuetos, and that's what led them there.
They each found one or two pitchers in their system. With the Astros, it was Keuchel and Lance McCullers.
Yeah.
The Cubs basically did it with all free agent pitching.
Yeah, John, they brought in Lester.
I think the issue was with the Mets is that they didn't want to spend the money, which will always be the issue once the Wilpons are there. But, I think we're prematurely going at the fact that the Mets can't draft talent because, I know maybe I'm just a positive Met fan here, but they did draft Michael Conforto, and no one really saw Michael Conforto coming up as, the player that he is. But,
But
this
he
point,
has Michael Conforto. He's good, not great.
But he has the potential of what we saw to be great.
But who knows about that anymore after the injury?
Yeah. You know what's strange? Conforto is kind of turning into like an every year type of guy. Like he had that 1 year where he came up and he did good. He's hitting home runs in the World Series. And then he has that game in the previous year where he gets just absolutely humbled by Madison Bumgarner. And he's not the same. And then he comes back and he's an all-star. And then this year, obviously, he's struggled. So I don't know if we really know what we have in Conforto.
Well, I think the Mets made a mistake in activating him. I think they should have
let him recover.
I think they should. He didn't start playing into the end of spring training. I think they should have kept him down kept him down in spring training, kept him down in St. Lucie, give him at least, maybe 30, 40 at-bats before, in the minors as a rehab before they called him up.
Yeah, there was really no rush to call him up either because they were playing pretty well at the time.
Yeah. There was absolutely no rush. The Mets just don't do things right. They just don't do things right.
They do seem to mess up everything, don't they?
I mean, look at Yoenis Cespedes. is it hip or is it his hamstring? He says it's his hamstring,
every
his
time
quad.
he bases, I get upset because I know he's going to get hurt.
And you think he's only going to miss 10 games? I mean, when the hell's Todd Frazier coming back? I mean, right now the lineup
back this weekend, Todd.
The lineup is awful right now. It's awful.
Oh yeah, that lineup that they put out yesterday was probably the worst lineup I've seen since that Kershaw game where they had Mayberry and Campbell batting 4 and 5. You remember that, Frank?
Yeah. And I saw the lineup and I tweeted out, "This is a white flag game," and everyone's like ripping me. Oh, stop being negative. Open your damn eyes and watch what I'm watching. I understand. Now, I don't like. I know they don't like playing catchers day games after night games, but with a day off, I think they could have probably slipped Devin Mazzarosco in the game.
Yeah.
I mean, Jose Lobotomy is. I mean, Jose Lobotomy. It's like it's worse than having. I mean.
I gotta tell you, Frank. I know you've been watching sports for a long time. Is Jose Lobotomy and Thomas Needle the worst catching duo you've ever seen? It's got to be up there at least, right?
I forgot the guy's name. There was a guy the Mets had a few years ago who was behind Josh Tolle. In fact, they even traded him in the...
Mike Nicholas, something like that. I think I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
I blocked his name. He didn't play that much, and Josh Tolle wasn't good either.
Oh, he was not very good. He was just the personal catcher to R.A. Dickey, really.
Nikias or something like that.
Yeah, Nikias. I think that's who it is.
But yeah, that guy had no ability to hit. Anthony Recker. There's another guy that had no ability to hit.
He could hit a home run though once in a while. That's for sure.
I mean, they've done something I thought I'd never do, and that's Miss Travis d'Arnaud, who, by the way, is terrible.
I mean, he's definitely not lived up to what he was supposed to be. But
Travis d'Arnaud is straight garbage. He is straight garbage. I was actually looking forward to this being a year where Kevin Plawecki showed if he can make it. And then he breaks his hand. Yeah. And you know what's funny is the day he broke his hand, he goes, "Oh, he's okay. The X-ray was negative." And then he went and used another rag. Then he went and looked at it again. Oh, it's broken. It's displaced. He's going to miss 7 weeks. He's going to be out for a long time. And now God only knows when he's coming back.
And you know what's funny? People, especially when we were in the midst of the Nito Lobaton regime. People were saying, "Oh, Plawecki's coming back," like he's Carlton Fisk or he's Johnny Bench. He's not that good in the first place, So I really think they need to acquire another catcher on top of Mazzarosco.
Well, I could live with Mazzarosco and Plawecki right now.
Well, yeah, for now. But I'm saying once we get past the deadline, if the Mets are still floating around in that 500 range, they need to go out and acquire.
Well, if they would have spent some money, they could have gotten Jonathan Lucroy.
Yeah, that's another thing. Sandy Alderson, you can say as much as you want that the Wilpons are cheap, and they absolutely are. They forced Sandy Alderson to go looking in the bargain bucket, but you could say he also spent his money terribly. With Vargas, who's just, oh my God, forget about it. And he, instead of using money to sign Lucroy, he goes out and signed Jose Reyes, who should have been DFA'd 3 weeks ago. I mean, let's be honest, he's terrible. The Mets think he's 36. They claim he's 36. Yes, he came up, he was 19. Do you remember when he came up how good he was? I mean, Jose Reyes is an all-time great Met. Oh, yeah.
I mean, yeah, but the problem is this. He was, they said, he was mature for his age. Look how good he is right away at the age of 19. You know what the problem was? He knew he was 19 then. He's probably more like 38, 39.
Really? You think he got away with that? Because I've always heard that, but I never really looked into it.
I don't think there was ever any documentation on Jose Reyes when he came into the league, especially growing up, about how exactly old he was.
The Dominican players, their birth certificates are all jacked up.
Yeah.
I mean, Bartolo Colon was like that too. Bartolo Colon was 2 years older than he said he was.
Imagine if Bartolo Colon's actually like 57 or something like that. He's still getting it done every day.
When Bartolo Colon came up, he was claiming to be like, and this was like 1997. He was claiming to be like 21, 20, and then after 9/11, they found out he was 2 years older than he actually was.
Wow. Bartolo, did you see him the other night? He's still got it, it looks like.
He was like the Mets' good luck charm, I think. I think he was the Mets' good luck charm. I mean, that would have been a better signing than Vargas.
Oh, are you kidding me? Absolutely. Especially considering the money they gave him. Anybody would have...
And Vargas was good last year in Kansas City, but he looks so bad, so awful. I mean, it is. I don't understand what is going on there. I mean, I could feel better than him.
Yeah. Do you think they rushed him back too soon? Also, do you think that's part of the problem?
I don't know. I don't know what the Mets' thinking process is. I mean, with the grounding, his elbow's hurt, he might miss 6 weeks. No, he's going to miss one start. Oh, he's okay, he can pitch. No, he's going to miss a start. Oh, let's take him out after 45 pitches.
What did you think about that move, Frank? Do you think it was strange they took him out after 45 pitches in the first inning?
I think there's something wrong.
You think so?
Yes.
Because I don't understand. If they were concerned about him throwing more than 45 pitches, why wouldn't you just, start Syndergaard in that game and push DeGrom back to the...
I don't know. That would have been the smart thing to do.
Yeah. So maybe he is hurt, and they're just trying to deflect it. I don't see what they would gain from that, though. Yeah.
Let's see. The Mets deflecting news, trying to hide information, basically lying. Huh. Well, you know how you know that. You know how you know the Mets are lying?
How?
Because they made because they told you because they made a statement. That's how you know the Mets are lying.
Oh man. So if you had to make a prediction, do you think DeGrom pitches his next start against the Diamondbacks, or are they going to come out with some bogus excuse?
I've been heard conflicting. When's he pitching? Friday or Saturday?
I think he's pitching tomorrow.
No, Steven's going tomorrow, and then Jake's going Saturday, and then.
Did they change? Did they change that?
No. That's how it should be.
Yeah, it's Matz and then DeGrom.
Because they changed up the rotation, skipping Vargas now. Because I heard initially that they're going to let the DeGrom pitch Friday, which would have made no damn sense.
Wait. DeGrom is actually pitching tomorrow.
That makes no damn sense.
And then Matz is on Saturday, and then Syndergaard on Sunday.
Who's the manager who has no friggin' clue what he's doing? MICKEYMORON, Mickey Moron. Mickey Moron. The guy who doesn't have a friggin' clue. MICKEY. The Mets are certainly screwed.
There it is. Let's talk about Mickey Moron a little bit, Frank. What's your overall assessment of what he's done so far this year?
It reminds me of Richie Kotite. I don't know what it is. It's a vibe I've gotten. That he makes these statements. It's like, I don't know what happened in 11-1. I guess he was living the good life, but there's something that I am not liking what I'm seeing.
See, the thing was, the team was hitting when they were going 11-1. They're not scoring runs. The only guy that's hitting on the team is Asdrubal Cabrera, and it's just a hot start. And it's not helping that the majority of the lineup is hitting under 200. Yeah, you're going to start Reyes at third base when you have Flores.
Is what Adrian Gonzalez is.
Yeah, he's been okay. He's been.
I actually could take what Adrian Gonzalez brought.
Yeah.
If you told me where he's at right now, I would sign up at the beginning of the year.
Ahmed Rosario has been a massive disappointment.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
Todd Frazier's been okay. His batting average has been a little low. Foros killed him. Jay Bruce, where did the power go? I mean, we need
stayed in Cleveland apparently.
We need Jay Bruce to start hitting home runs again. We need Jay Bruce to start driving in runs.
I'm not really that
Start
concerned
hitting.
about the Mets
Everything will
offense.
fall into place. I feel like if they start hitting and scoring runs.
Oh well, that's the Adrian. That's the Mickey Moron for soul philosophy. The what me worry. But the biggest disappointment to me is Ahmed Rosario. I mean,
Yeah, so he's got to be. Yeah.
I mean, to me, he reminds me of he makes me miss Ruben Tejada, and the only problem is this: he has to play because the only other option is Jose Reyes, who is
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, look, I think if down the line, if they get an opportunity to move
this
Rosario,
new guy they called up that started at third base yesterday, Guillorme.
It's very good
I
defensively,
think
from what I
when
hear.
Todd Frazier comes back, I think he stays, and you got to get rid of Reyes.
Oh, you have to. Reyes is so bad. He can't hit. He can't field. And he can't even run the bases.
It's just Jose Reyes.
It's embarrassing. I mean, it really is. I mean, people are going to say that this is a similar start to last year.
You're blocking somebody who deserves to be in the majors.
basically.
Yeah, this is a similar start to last year, and he might have had a decent second half last year, but you know what? It's the problem with Reyes is he's supposed to like I said, he's born in 1982 allegedly, and I just think that I just think he's older than he says he is. Or
See,
maybe
the thing with Guillorme is he can hit, and he's a fantastic fielder. Even if you put him off the bench in different different games,
yeah, Guillorme has to stay up. Guillorme has to stay.
I don't know how you can. You know,
I mean, I'd be ticked off if Guillorme is sent down and Jose Reyes is continuing to take up space. I mean, one day the Mets should put him in the Hall of Fame. He should be in the Mets Hall of Fame. He should have a plaque right next to David Wright in that little closet near the rotunda.
yeah.
I absolutely agree, but it's time to let this guy go. I mean, come on. Enough with Reyes. Enough. And you know they're going to send down Guillorme, keep Reyes up. You just know it. You know it.
The Mets just aren't smart. They're not smart. I mean, is there if you release Jose Reyes now, is there anyone team that's going to sign him?
No, I doubt it. Maybe the Long Island Ducks down the line. That's about it.
But the thing with Reyes is he's finished. He's done. He's not
Absolutely.
He's washed up.
And this goes back to Sandy Alderson not being great with the way he was managed the few funds he was given, spending, what was it, $3 million, $4 million on Reyes, and he could have signed Jonathan Lucroy, but instead he decided to sign Reyes, and he decided to sign Lobaton as the backup to pull like
I mean, you look at the Mets actually are rich with middle infielders in the minors, and they may not all be good. Ty Kelly, we know he sucks.
Ty Kelly. They'll give you credit at that, I'll say that.
We know Phillip Evans, we see he sucks. God, why did they start Phillip Evans in left field the other day? That's another thing. I know Brandon Nimmo struggled against lefties, but he's only had 9 at-bats against lefties. He takes pitches, he walks, he gets on base, and he gives energy to the team.
Absolutely. And
I don't care for lefties out here. I want to see Brandon Nimmo in the lineup every day, and I want to see Brandon Nimmo batting cleanup.
Yeah, I'm with you. And the strange thing about that was that Evans just arrived to the ballpark, after getting no sleep and, traveling a whole night basically, and they just, put him in at the 5 hole. What is going on?
Do you remember that guy last year? Was it Andrew Wilk?
Andrew, the left-hander that made that one start, and he got hammered. Yeah.
Yeah, you know the whole story with that, don't you?
Was it something similar? I don't recall.
Well, that was the day that Matt Harvey got suspended, or the Mets finally got sick of him. Because Matt Harvey actually didn't think he should be at the ballpark on days when the other team when he wasn't pitching. He thought he was special. So
he's Matt Harvey.
So anyway, they suspend him, and they call for Andrew Wilk, and the Las Vegas 51s. They're getting rid of that nickname. Sadly, I love that nickname. whoever takes them next year is not going to have that alien nickname anymore. I'm going to miss that.
They're changing the name?
Yep.
What are they changing it to?
I hear the name that they're looking at. Vegas, we got the energy.
Really?
Non-offensive. I mean,
the energy?
The energy.
That's I don't know what to say about that. I mean, I always thought the Vegas 51s was a great thing, with the...
Yeah, so they're having the people wanted to choose name. One of the choices is Vegas Energy.
Jesus.
Vegas, one of the other one is Vegas Lights.
Vegas Lights. You might as well name the Vegas Silver Knights. I'm sorry, Frank, I interrupted. What were you saying?
But they were in Albuquerque or Reno or something like that. They're in some town where he had so they flew Delta, which is the Mets airline. They basically gave him flew him commercially, and he had to take 3 transfers, including to Atlanta and Boston, before getting to New York. And he only arrived in New York 3 hours before the game with no sleep on a red-eye flight.
Wow.
This is okay. Here's the baseball. Well, I'm gonna try to get Giancarlo Stanton out.
That almost sounds worse than New Jersey Transit, Frank.
I think sometimes the Mets are run by New Jersey Transit.
I wouldn't be surprised. What do you think about Syndergaard this year? Are you a little concerned about him? I don't know.
I don't know what's going on. I think maybe he's a little afraid sometimes. But I think it's just the way that people operate now. They just foul off, and the Mets don't understand that philosophy. They just say, go up there, swing with your heart's content.
Especially if you're Ahmed Rosario, let me tell you, that guy swings at every first pitch, every at bat.
I saw him swing a pitch that would bounce to home plate.
Yeah, I've seen him do that. Yeah.
I'm convinced you could have 50 Cent on the mound, and he'll swing at that pitch that 50 Cent throw.
The thing with Syndergaard that's quite alarming is his secondary stuff has not been up to par with it has been in the past. His off-speed pitches have looked flat, almost just like a fastball, and there's no movement. And then he'll come back and he'll throw a nasty slider. But then where is it consistently? I feel like there's no consistency within his secondary pitches. Yeah, sure, he could throw 100 miles an hour, but so does, 65% of the majors right now. So he's got to figure out how to pitch. They got to teach him how to pitch an MLB.
You know what the problem was? Dan Worthen was a disaster.
Yeah, I agree.
And it looked like he was just I mean, they should have fired Dan Worthen a long time ago. And he just sat on the bench and he did nothing. They had no rhyme or reason. I mean, we'll see what Dave Island can do. Dave Island's been good in the past, and Mickey Callaway's been a good pitching coach in the past.
Yeah, they were so hyped up going into the season that there were these 2 pitching gurus, and they were going to fix Matt Harvey, and they were going to do this and that. Matt Harvey's, with the Cincinnati Reds.
Well, you know the problem with Matt Harvey is?
Yeah.
I don't blame anyone on the Mets for what happened to Matt Harvey. Matt Harvey had to want to be fixed.
So you're saying he didn't want to be with the Mets? He just needed a change?
Yeah. I think that was part of it. I think he wanted out. And I think there's just certain arrogance with him. Did you hear what Keith Hernandez said?
What did he say?
Keith Hernandez's agent was Scott Boras.
Right.
So Keith Hernandez went up to Scott Boras and said, you got to talk to this guy. And Scott Boras basically says, I've talked to him. He doesn't listen.
Well, there's not much they really could have done with Harvey, especially with his attitude and whatnot.
Yeah,
this was a good trade. This was a good trade getting Mesoraco because they were finally able to get a real catcher, who had a pulse.
I mean, he's had injury issues in the past. One year where he was really good, made the All-Star team. Yeah. But To me, it's Kevin Plawecki and Mazzaracco when Plawecki comes back, and if Mazzaracco's better, I'm stick with Mazzaracco. I mean,
oh, absolutely, yeah.
I mean,
just gotta hope he stays healthy, you know.
Yeah, I mean, God, if he gets hurt, then we're back to Nido and Lobaton again.
Forget it.
And Tomas Nido, the Mets actually rate him as a top 5 prospect. The guy is awful. The guy is terrible. The guy is horrendous. He will never, ever, ever hit above 200. You know, these analytic guys, they look at BABIP. He's batting 350 with BABIP. Only problem is he strikes out 900 times, so he rarely does put the ball in play. But his BABIP is good. I mean, they come up with these ridiculous stats. Swing ratio, exit velo.
What do you think of WAR, Frank? What is it good for?
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, that's my man. That's my man. Here you go, Frank. We're having this conversation for a long time now, me and Nick and myself, and I think it's completely useless. I think there's no possible way you could conduct a stat like that. I think it's
now some of the new school stats I could get a grasp. I actually think OPS is a very good measure.
Yeah, no, of course.
But what we're doing with OPS and WHIP, I like WHIP. I think WHIP's a very good stat. Mm-hmm. But these are actual stats. They're not theoretical stats. They're not situational stats. WHIP is how many people you put on base per inning. OPS is on base plus slugging. And on base has become more important than batting average now, which is why I like Brandon Nimmo and I like Michael Conforto. Conforto, even while he's struggling, he is getting on base a little bit.
Oh, yeah. He had that streak where he got on base like 20 straight games.
Yeah. I just think the only problem with Conforto is they rushed him. And I maybe he's coming back, or maybe a couple weeks ago I was saying they should send him out in the minors just to get his swing right, because he didn't swing a bat for 8 months. And the Mets are just so stupid. They didn't even... I mean, you tell me, what the hell were they thinking letting him start the year?
I think they maybe trusted him too much, because he said he was ready to go, and they gave him too much trust.
Well, you don't listen to him. You let him get his... You let him get his reps in. He did not play a full spring training. So you figure out how many at-bats most people get in spring training. Is maybe, 60? And you let him get his 60 at-bats.
Yeah, it's definitely fair. I think he's starting to come around a little bit, though. We saw what he did in Philly. How about what happened after that game in Philly? I mean, that was a great win. You thought the Mets maybe would go on some sort of roll, and then the rain delay just killed all their momentum, you know?
Yeah, they didn't have and yesterday they played in absolute terrible conditions.
Yeah. Well, they had to get that game done. They didn't want the Blue Jays coming back.
This is such a so screwy.
So what do you think about if the Mets can possibly make a run at Manny Machado? I know it's not, likely with the Wilpons.
To dream the impossible dream.
But tell me not, Frank, the way this team is going and the way the Phillies have played and the way the Braves have come along, this team's window got a hell of a lot shorter recently. And if they don't make a signing like Machado,
and they won't. They don't
probably
care.
Going to be in the basement.
They don't.
They're probably going to have to sell
care.
off the drum.
Yeah,
it's terrible.
Of course, they'll get nothing back because Sandy Alderson. He's a 5'2" player. He's a 5'2" player. He's a 5'2" player. And he comes up and he's another Dom Smith.
Oh, you remember what he said earlier this year? We don't need Stanton because we have Nimmo. So that really says it all right there.
It's just ridiculous. The Mets need somebody. They need a big name. They need Bryce Harper. They need Manny Machado. They need to make a splash, and they're never going to do it.
And the thing that sucks is that it's very possible, but they just won't do it. They rather spend $20 million on a video game team. They have the money.
What the hell was that about?
What, the Overwatch team?
Yeah.
Making money. That's what it is.
How is that making money?
That's all it is. I guess it's popular now.
How is this become a thing?
Millennials. That's how.
So they don't want to watch baseball because baseball is boring. They don't. So they play. They don't want to play video games because it's tiring. So now they're watching people playing video games.
That's really something, right? And then, you know what? I think they're making money off that too. Money that won't be given to Manny Machado next off season, but money that they're gonna.
But how? Who does this? Who's? I hate the Will Pond. You know, Al Davis. Remember Al Davis, the famed Raiders owner who near the end was a little lost it, but for a long time the Raiders were always a good team, and he had the saying, "Just win, baby." Will Pond, it's just win if you can.
Exactly.
And they also had the other saying was commitment to excellence. The Mets is commitment to mediocrity.
I couldn't have said it any better, Frank. I really couldn't have, because it's a team they're really concerned about making the team decent enough where they're an okay product on the field where they can make a run at a wild card maybe, and just make money off it. They don't really care about taking the team to the next level. Because this is New York. This isn't Wisconsin, or not the Minnesota Twins. When you say something like the Mets should go after Manny Machado, your reaction shouldn't be, yeah, right. It should be, they shouldn't do that. But it's as long as the Wilpons are there, you have no confidence that they're going to go out and do that.
Do you know, 20 years ago, Fred Wilpon was against the signing of Mike Piazza. That was all Nelson Doubleday. Because who looked out at the stands, the Mets and Yankees were both home at the same time. They were both home for the same game. It was 2 days after David Wells' no-hitter. The Mets and Yankees were playing the game at the same time. The Yankees had a full stadium for a big game against the Orioles. The Mets had like 10,000. That was their set of attendance. There was looked like there was only like 6,000 in Shea Stadium that night. And Nelson Doubleday looked and said, "We have to do something about this." And Nelson Doubleday directed Steve Phillips to go make the Piazza trade.
That's what got it done. Again, I hope that Sandy does something like that this year, but
Jeff and Sandy will just sit there and go, "Well, we got true loyal fans here." And you know what kicks me off is this. I rarely go to Yankee Stadium, but I know one thing at Yankee Stadium. Their subway station has an elevator. At Citi Field, we have to walk up Mount Kilimanjaro. We have to walk up all these stairs. It's like stairs that go up forever. You get into Citi Field, you got concessionaires that clearly don't want to be there. And they let you know they don't want to be there. I mean, you got concession lines that go on for days. And it's because they have a philosophy. If we slow down, maybe the line will shrink. Just so people will get tired of waiting on line.
Oh man, it's just the Mets. What else can you say? It's just Mets. That's it. There's nothing else you can say.
I mean, maybe adding a few extra concessionaires to maybe make it go faster. Maybe finding a way to make things go smoother and quicker in lines. But nope.
No. So Frank, let's switch gears here. Let's talk a little hockey. You think that John Tavares is staying or leaving the Islanders?
Happy trails to you until we meet again. You know what could be worse?
What?
I think both other teams are going to make a run at him.
Now, do you think that the Rangers or the Devils have a better chance at him?
Rangers.
Yeah, because of the cap space, or just the allure
and the Rangers, and the fact that the Rangers basically cleared the decks of the Titanic to go after a big name. And boy, that would be ultimate. That would be the ultimate betrayal.
That's the reason why I can't see it happening. I would absolutely love for that to happen, but the guy who's loyal,
I mean, if Tavares did that, we're going to see hundreds of people on Long Island burning their Tavares jerseys. That would be the ultimate spit in the face of every Islander fan.
Absolutely, it'd be terrible. And the
Islanders are hurt because of their friggin' arena situation.
Yeah, it's not a good situation.
Because Nassau Coliseum did not want to build that damn arena, that lighthouse project. I mean, Charles, why don't you take the money out of your damn pocket, Charles? Put it into the damn arena. Now you sell the team. You put them in Brooklyn. Fans in Brooklyn don't want to go to hockey games. They don't want to go to basketball games. The only thing they want to see is someone drinking coffee at a barista or something like that somewhere. I mean, I don't know what happened in Brooklyn. That's like hipster World Central, and they don't like sports. So they built the arena at the wrong time. The Nets should have stayed in New Jersey. We would have embraced this team. Instead, they go to Brooklyn, and they try to win fans in Brooklyn. They make this idiotic trade with the Celtics, and basically they traded their future.
Yeah, they're still paying for it.
Oh, the final payment is coming due this year. Finally, they'll get the pick of their own. I tell you one thing I like. I like the one move they made last year. I like them trading that stiff Brook Lopez to the Lakers for D'Angelo Russell.
Yeah, that was a good move, I think. Get a nice young guy who can be the face of the franchise. Russell
showed some signs last year.
He definitely did. Yeah.
I think the Lakers gave up on him a little too quick. I think he's someone that's actually got ability. I mean, the Nets weren't too bad this year. They were competitive at times. I mean, you get some more talent in there. Maybe they could actually be a playoff contender. I mean,
they weren't bad. They weren't that bad. That's for sure.
I certainly liked him a little bit better than Nick's future.
That's a whole nother mess. Different podcast.
Do you realize that people in the organization wanted a guy from Utah, and they chose Frank Ntilikina?
Yeah, well,
they stiff.
So, baby.
It's still too early to say, about Ntilikina, but we'll definitely see.
And then they get that Emmanuel Mudiay, who is awful.
Yeah, he definitely wasn't good last year.
I think the next year, I don't think you're going to see Porzingis play a single game next year.
I actually wouldn't be surprised if they went that route, especially with how bad the team's shaping up to be.
I think what's going to happen, he's going to, with the knee injury, I think they said the earliest they could have him back is January. I mean, if they're 20 games below 500 in January, what's the point?
Yeah.
Keep him benched. Embrace the tank. Maybe you'll finally get a pick that's better than 9.
Embrace the tank, Frank. Do you think we're going to be saying that next year for the Mets? What do you think?
I think we're done. I think if the Mets decide to rebuild, the first step has to be firing Sandy Alderson. Second step has to be bringing a real baseball mind, a young baseball mind in. A Dio Epstein type player, someone maybe one of Dio's lieutenants, or whoever's in Houston's lieutenants. And no more of this bargain basement. Stop building around pitching. No more pitching. I mean, if you build around the young position players. If you can get a stud pitcher, that's fine. But focus on building around hitters. You can't build a baseball team anymore. Your foundation can't be on pitching. I'm convinced of that now.
All right, Frank. Before we let you go, why don't you give your Twitter and your YouTube and where people can find you?
Well, I'm almost anywhere and everywhere. I got my podcast, Allow Me to Be Frank. It drops usually on Tuesday. It's on SoundCloud. It's on iTunes. I write for Barstool Sports. I got On This Date, and I got Tank's Vlog up on YouTube. I do cooking shows also on YouTube. I tried to do one today, but I freaking screwed it up trying to make the bacon and eggs video. One of these days I gotta get a GoPro. One of these days I gotta get a GoPro because I can't hold the camera and cook at the same time. It's difficult. And what I was I tried to shoot it and I ended up shooting a picture of my sink.
Frank, you gotta get Frank from the pizza reviews to film.
Frankie Borelli. And then of course I got my website, the sportsencyclopedia.com. Sportsencyclopedia.com. It's the first place that birthed in the home of sports history.
All right, Frank. Thanks again for coming on. We really appreciate it, man.
All right. Thanks again.
All right.